Masters Toronto has a lot of storylines already. All the first seeds, including the favorites G2 and Fnatic losing their first games, Wolves making a miracle run, both in terms of popularity and on the server, Pacific's second and third seed looking like the two best teams, and so on. However, what if I told you that someone had a run even crazier than Wolves or Texture, but nobody is talking about it? The answer is not a player or team. I don't think that would go under the radar like it currently does, but Valorant's best agent. Vyse. And hear me out before you question that statement. Vyse has currently been played on 9 maps in Toronto against opponents that didn't also play Vyse, and won 8 of them. And there was only one map where both teams played Vyse, BLG versus Sentinels and Lotus. An agent having a pick rate of only 15% and an unmirrored win rate of a ludicrous 89% is so bizarre that you'd be right to look for context here. For example, like Astra and Lotus in 2023 had an incredible win rate that was also incredibly fraudulent, since nobody played on that map except for Fnatic, who were clearly the best team and at their best on Lotus. However, the same cannot be said for Vyse in Toronto. In her 9 unmirrored games, she was played by 7 different teams and on 4 different maps. The only real constant here is that, well, the team that played her ended up winning the map. You could say that 9 maps is a pretty small sample size, but Gen G only played 7 maps and have a worse win rate than Vyse, and I don't think anyone would claim that they are in fact quite average and them winning is just a fluke. The thing is, Vyse is just that good. So why is that? When Vyse came out, pros really didn't understood how to incorporate her correctly, so she wasn't played much, but she was quite dominant at the beginning of the 25 season and even got nerfed, I think her wall and her 4-on durations. Then, however, Theo came out, and being literally perfect for pro play, teams instantly flocked to him and designed their comps around having 2 initiators, meaning little space left for sentinels. Does this mean Vyse just kind of like got forgot and left behind? But Theo's out of the picture now, so there is space in comps for sentinel again. And what a sentinel Vyse is. Her wall is probably the quintessential sentinel ability and also the strongest one of the bunch. It gives both info and has the most stopping power out of all abilities in the game. It stalls pushes more effectively than any other sentinel util, allows you to get kills on isolated target, and unlike like Killjoy mollies, Cypher trips or deadlock sensors, yeah, like you name it, it cannot be destroyed with util like Sova darts, so it's extremely tedious to clear out, and since you have to like jump spot and often don't even have your gun out, it's also very dangerous to clear out. And if all of that wasn't enough, the ability also doubles as the best flank info tool on attack, since it has global range and forces flankers to either bait it by like jumping over it and going back, but then they waste a lot of time on their already compromised flank, or it enables the flank team to collapse back onto the flanker, who now has nowhere to run since there's a wall behind them. You can see that demonstrated very well in this clip.
Crunch from behind, getting ready to come through. Noise going to be made. Now going to be noted as Jogamo is all by himself. The sheer wall outdoing the 2-person flank.
Vyse's phones also provide a lot of stalling power, both in defense or in post plants, since they last incredibly long. They can be combined with damage util, and they're just generally very flexible to use like all around the map. The ult, once again, gives you insane stalling power, or can be used to gain a huge spontaneous advantage when taking like a quick fight when taking or defending a side. And if having significantly more stopping power than any other sentinel wasn't enough for an agent, Vyse also has a regenerating flash that gives info. You remember when Skye wasn't completely useless in pro play, but instead able to provide all the initiator util teams needed in a double controller meta? That was because she had regenerating flashes that give info. Vyse still has this, and has the best flank trip and the most stopping power out of any sentinel in the game. With Vyse being that strong, she's bound to play a major role in how Toronto ends up playing out. Let me know which teams you think will utilize her best or be able to counter her best when the top teams are gonna go head to head.